Hey shoe spotters and outsole observers, it's Ed Christmas Cake Bud here. Today I've got a 100-mile review for you of the Nike Air Zoom Vomero 16. Does it still smell as good as it did out the box? Thanks for joining me once again, cats, here at Eddbud Running Shoe Reviews. It's always appreciated. If you're a new viewer, or you've yet to do so, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But also click the bell below for notifications of when we roll those new videos out for you. It also helps us out too if you give this video a thumbs up like and share this video with your running buddies. Merci beaucoup. I picked this one up a fair few months ago now, and I finally got 100 miles in. In fact, I'm probably way over 100 because I've been using it as a walking shoe during recovery for my fractured shoulder. If you ask me, this often overlooked Nike shoe is an absolute daily banger. It's really worked out well for me over the last few months. So as I say, well over 100 miles here, or 160 kilometers. Some real nuggets here. I've used them between about 8 minutes 30 per mile pace, right up to about 7 minutes 10 per mile pace. So just a little bit off of my half marathon target pace. Retail on these is 135 Earth credits over here in the UK, although I was lucky and managed to pick them up slightly discounted using a code for 110 Earth credits. In my UK size 11, these weigh in at 329 grams, which is 11.6 ounces, and translates to a US 12. I did give these an 11.1 out of 12 on my initial review. How have they held up after 100 miles? We'll start with the upper first. So it's a bit of a beaten up beast now, looking a tad crispy. Certainly well loved though, this shoe. Well loved. Bit of an off-white vibe, although I'm not sure you could sell it for the price of some of those off-white shoes. But one of the most comfortable cruisers of the year in terms of the upper so far. A lot of people will enjoy the increased width that Nike have placed into the toe box. Those of the wider foot will applaud at this moment. And the lockdown here just simply works. Lacing system, coat with that very padded tongue, just does the business. You're in for a treat there. Just cinch and tie and run. I haven't had to use the runner's knot here, just used the penultimate eyelets and tied a standard bow, and it's been absolutely fine. I do actually quite like the slightly plusher toe box there. It's a little thicker, and it's come in handy actually as the temperatures have gone down a little bit here in the UK as we head towards winter. I've experienced no rubbing or heel slip here in the Vomero 16. It's just Mr. Consistency when it comes to fit. A Radiohead no surprises of a shoe. I mean, yeah, it does look a bit odd, especially in the white colourway. I think the blue ones that Kafuzi picked up maybe look a little bit better, but I'm not too fussed really about aesthetics of a daily running shoe. It's gonna get mucky, and it's gonna get mucky quick. Certainly a true to size, comfortable cruiser. There could be a few more colourways perhaps. Nike, come on, sort it out. There's loads of colourways of all sorts of other models, but not for this one, so make it happen. I'm gonna give it a 2.8 out of 3 for the upper after 100 miles. Midsole, midsole, midsole now. So that triple combo of the weird squashy foam, because it's not Cushlon, someone else. Zoom X and Air Zoom make for a real ripper of underfoot feel. I would suggest as bubbly as a glass of Prosecco at the Christmas party. As fun as a full pack of party rings. And certainly more cushioned than parking yourself on top of the photocopier. I think the ride in these seem to have improved actually over time. It's just got better and better as the foams have loosened up a little bit. Let's not forget that they're all kind of crammed in there. There's a very strict structure to the shoe, but the more miles, the better it felt. Yes, it's not the most nimble or minimal of shoes. There's quite a lot of foam underfoot here. And it's quite a wide landing base too, and I think most people would probably want to put a little less of a shoe into their speed sessions. Perhaps if you're running intervals, the Vomero 16 is just not for you. But that's not really what it's designed for. Great for the longer runs due to the plush nature of the upper and the midsole, and really nice and forgiving for easier efforts. It's just like you're running with a friend when you're out there doing 3 or 4 miles or something. That's what it feels like. I must say the Air unit does give a little bit of a pop on toe off, probably a little bit more present I suppose than the one that you find in the Pegasus 38. A nice smooth ride of chewy pleasure. I think at Nike have found a new winning formula here with their sandwich of midsole foams and a move away from React. I'm really not dead set on that stuff. It seems to react poorly in colder conditions. See what I did there? So we got a carrier of like increased durability there surrounding that precious Zoom X foam that somebody once told me was like really hard to manufacture and that it took loads more time and money and stuff like that. But I wonder if they still think that now with the thousands of pairs of Alpha Flies sat on the shelves. I just find this a better approach actually than a massive slab of Zoom X that we have in the Invincible run. As such, this makes the shoe more of a daily or lower pace cruiser and not really suited for speed work at all. So a slightly lower score than before, 2.7 out of 3. Purely because of less versatility. I think if Nike tried to shave off a bit of weight here and there, make the shoe a bit more nimble, I think I could probably pull that score up a bit. Maybe it will happen in the future. So 2.7 out of 3 after 100 miles for the midsole. Outsole now. The outsole on here has been a winner right from the off. Only very minimal wear to the lugs, which is quite amazing really. It's all in that midfoot area. Up in the toe box there, they're still pristine. The OG RS02 high abrasion rubber does exactly what it says on the tin. And I found this one really usable on pretty much every surface. I think you could even take this on some light trails if you wanted to. Might be a little bit too cushioned in fact for that, but certainly the outsole will take it. Whether you will, well, I don't know. What are you made of? The mixture of waffle-like lugs here and wavy fins really does work exceptionally well. And I find it vastly preferable to the Pegasus 38 outsole. As such, with barely any wear here on the Vomero 16, I'm going to give these a 2.9 out of 3 for the outsole after 100 miles. So it's a slight increase, in fact, on my initial score. I think the only thing keeping it from an absolutely perfect score there is a tiny little bit of wear in the midfoot. But that's it. It's as grippy as a piece of gaffer tape that you just can't get off your fingers. You know, the type of stuff that sticks to your other fingers when you try and pull it off of your fingers. So value-wise, I think the Vomero 16 is just going to keep on going for miles and miles. I found no durability issues in the upper, no tearing, zero signs of wear really. I think if I gave it a bit of a clean up, it would look fantastic. As I previously mentioned, price is a little bit higher than the Pegasus 38. These retail for 135 Earth credits over here in the UK. But for me, the slightly lighter Vomero 16 is actually the way to go if you want a daily Nike shoe. Just more versatile for me than the flagship model, the Pegasus 38. It's just got a better range about it. And it smells better. Just a bit of a smoother ride for me than the Pegasus. Less to go wrong there in the lacing. I really do like that padded tongue. I know that Kafuzi mentioned in his initial review of the Vomero 16 that he felt that the padding in the tongue might be a bit of a sweat sponge. I can see where he's coming from there. It certainly is padded, but I've not had any major issues up to now, even in the rain. And finally, we have a Nike shoe here that's a winner for those with a wider forefoot. Some may balk a little bit at the higher price here, but I think it's worth it, especially if you can pick these up on a discount, which recently they have been on. For me, easily the best Nike daily shoe of 2021. I don't think they're releasing anything else, so I think it probably will take the crown. I'll give it a 2.8 out of 3 for value after 100 miles. A wonderful shoe here. It's been delightful to use over the last few months. And I've got to say, one of the best I've reviewed in 2021 so far. We've got about 7 weeks left, so we could have a couple of contenders coming in yet. We shall see. So if I total the scores up correctly, that gives us 11.2 out of 12 after 100 miles for the Nike Air Zoom Vomero 16. Have you worn it? Are you going to grab it? Let me know down in the comments. Bonus smell test. Here we go. Fresh. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. A quick musical interlude for you. Now, normally my musical interludes are recommendations, but sadly today it is not. So I checked out some of the tracks from Johnny Marr's new Fever Dreams parts 1 through to 4. He's released 6 tracks. I think the first 4 are from Fever Dreams 1, and then there's a couple of tracks that I think are from Fever Dreams 2. And yeah, I'm not too sure about it. There's some electronic beats here, lots of repetitious synth parts. There's not an awful lot of change to anything, and I'm not too sure I really like the mood of the tracks. Feel very cold actually. Feels like they're quite calculated. Doesn't feel so free and energetic as some of the tracks from his previous albums. Maybe they'll grow on me a little bit, or maybe I need to listen to them a bit more. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood, but it just really didn't connect with me on many levels at all. Where I commented to you guys the other day that I was really enjoying listening to Johnny Marr's electronic album that he made with Bernard Summer. That connects with me. This one just doesn't. Feels like I'm a dial-up modem trying to access the internet back in the late 90s. Just not many sort of Johnny Marr trademark guitar hits on here that we really like and enjoy. So going to give them some further listens down the line and see if I can perhaps amplify my enjoyment. Go and check it out for yourself, guys. Johnny Marr's Fever Dreams parts 1 through to 4. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of today's video, guys. It's always appreciated. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when I launch those new videos for you. And it really does help the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share it with your running buddies. My name's Eddbud, and I'll be seeing you